In today's lesson, we're going to be talking about taking several transformations and doing them all at the same time to the same graph. So instead of having just one translation or one rotation, we'll do a translation and a rotation to the same graph. All right. So it says today I will be able to complete transformations that have two or more types together. All right. First, we're just going to look at how each one is shown on the. So for translations, remember it's always going to say x plus something, y minus or plus something, right? So that's the first part. Then for dilation, we are always going to have a number, it'd be like 2x or a half y. I'll have a number in front of the x or the y. Right? So if it comes after the x or y, it's a translation. So you're either going to go up or down. So for y, you go up or down, x goes left and right. Dilation, you multiply by the number in front of the letter. Right? That's those two. For reflections, what's going to happen is there's a couple things it could be. So there's a couple options. One of our options is it'll say negative x or negative y. If it's negative x, you're going to reflect the x-axis. If it says negative y, you'll reflect the y-axis. Right? If it wants you to reflect the y equals x, it will just say the phrase reflect the line y equals x. It won't put it in the little equation form, it'll just say it afterwards, right? It'll actually say the words reflect the line y equals x, right? We don't have a symbol for that or anything like that, right? And then the last one for rotations, there's no symbols in the formula style. It won't look like either of those. It'll just tell you what to do. It'll say rotate blank degrees, and then it'll give you the direction, either counter or clockwise. Right? So it'll actually say the phrase. It'll tell you what to do. Right? Those are your options. So we're going to look at what a combination of them looks like next. So for the order, you always translate first. If there's translations, do that first. Right? So move it to where it's going to go first, and then do whatever's after that. Either whether it's dilating, rotating, or reflecting. Everything else can be in any order. So dilations, rotations, and reflections can be done in any order. As long as you do the translation first, then you're good. Right? So like if we wanted to rotate and then reflect, I would rotate it and then I would reflect it. Right? Or if I reflected first and then I rotated it, see, we ended up in the same place either way, right? So it doesn't matter which order you do. But generally, it's a good idea to translate first and then do the other three. Right? Okay, so we're going to start looking at some examples. So first what we see is I have an x plus 2. That means I'm going to move right 2. The 2y means I'm going to multiply the y's by 2. All right? So what we can do here is take each point, we're going to write down all our points. So y, m, q, and t. So y is negative 3, 3, m is negative 3, 2, q is negative 2, 0, and t is 0, 0. X is adding 2, so take all these numbers, add 2. Y is times 2, so take all these numbers and multiply by 2. This one, negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. 3 times 2 is 6. Negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. 2 times 2 is 4. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0. 0 times 2 is 0. 0 plus 2 is 2, and 0 times 2 is 0. So then, we'll take our points, and I'll put them. Negative 1, 6, negative 1, and 4, 0, 0, and 2, 0. There we go. So as we can see, it moved over, like I said it would, and the y made it stretch taller. There you go. Okay, so this one, instead of a little formula, they gave us a little blurb. It says rotate 180 degrees clockwise, then reflect the y-axis. So since it says then, that means we do this first and do this second. All right. So what I'm going to do is write down my points. So I have G here at negative 4, 0. I've got W at negative 4, 2. And I have E at 0, 3. So we're going to do 2 of them. The first thing, we're going to rotate 180 degrees clockwise. So looking back at the notes, I see that the formula for that says to do negative x, negative y. So we'll do that first. So negative x, negative y would be 4, 0, 4, negative 2, and 0, negative 3. All right. To reflect the y-axis, I do negative x and y. So we're doing that to our new points here. So negative x would be negative 4, negative x, negative 4. And I can't make 0 negative, so that stays that. Right? So I made all of these negative, and I left these the same. So this final column is our new point, so we'll graph those. Negative 4, 0. Negative 4, negative 2. And then 0, negative 3. There we go. Okay. For this one, we've got an equation again. So when you have just an equation, you can set it up by first writing down all your points. So we've got 1, 3, 0, negative 1, and 5, 1. Right. Now, according to this, x's are times 0.5, and y's are minus 3. Right. So all of my x's get multiplied by 0.5, so I get 1 times 0.5 is 0.5, 0 times 0.5 is 0, 5 times 0.5 would be 2.5. Then all my y's are going to minus 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. Negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4. And 1 minus 3 is negative 2. So we get this point here. So 0.5 and 0. 0, negative 4. 2.5, negative 2. There we go. So this last one, that negative x, that means it's reflecting the x-axis. And then for this, I've got 0.5y. So again, we're going to write down our points. So Q is 1, 3. L is 5, 1. U is 0, negative 1. So one time, so negative x, so turn all of these negative. Negative 1, negative 5, and again 0 can't change. Now I'm going to take my y's times 0.5. 3 times 0.5 is 1.5. 1 times 0.5 is 0.5. And negative 1 times 0.5 would be negative 0.5. So negative 1, 1.5. Negative 5.5. And 0, negative 0.5. And there we go. Alright, so if you have questions about the lesson, make sure